yo antwana go na le ntago ene ngwe ne ke plomme go yone kopanelane mane mfeto ka reka 6 ka reka le botlolo ntshola re plomme e le vibe mnate mone ke dikhawashi ke ditšhisa nyama monne kasi is not a play o ka nyatsang ntša ka go chaela di a boa ka slam.
Welcome to episode 2 of Ikasilam, narrating culture and sense of place in townships. In this episode, we'll be having conversations with locals of Mohlakeng, a town in the West Rand of Johannesburg. They will give us a look into their lives of being a local in a township, their identity, their feelings towards the place, their hardships, and what they wish for the future of their community. Let's get it started. What is one of your first memories in the township?
In the township, fuck, I'm doing a way. Mukasi 209, before the World Cup, yeah, I'm doing a way. Kione first memory is in fit, Chisanyama something or let's push. You understand? That's when we started stealing cars, coming to Kazi to charge.
Okay, KG, what is one of your first memories in the township?
Yeah, my first memory was in 2008. A lot of people are gonna be calculating my age when I say this. I was in grade 8 at that time, 2008. And that's when I discovered that I can do commentary. You understand? So yeah, my first memory was how I even actually remember myself being in Mohlakeng was when I first started my commentary gig. You understand? When I started commentating at Patrick S. Ntsoleng Stadium in Mohlakeng. At that time, it was called Mohlakeng Stadium, but now it's called Patrick S. Ntsoleng Stadium. So that's my first memory. That's one thing that comes and pops into my mind that, hey, dude, you got your gig this year, 2008. I started commentary. I started commentating for players such as Opa Ace Manyesa, Tembi Khatlana, Makehleni Makaula, Edward Manele, Ben Mochwari. I'm talking about the guys who are now playing in. I'm talking about the guys who are now playing in PSL. Okay. Understand? So that thing is still plays in my mind. Oh, yo, actually, these guys badalako TV ke commentate like abone. You understand what I'm trying to say? So in Kasi, in township re push a commentary, re push a content. You understand? We strive, we push. I want to talk about free ticket or fan silver plate to say ntwana ka tsena mo media. No. We twanela. You understand? So yeah, Ellen, that was is my memory. It was my memory. Push ntwana kukasi. Itwanele lwana. Bona golova. Ayesheshe, ayepushe, ayebiye, ayepie.
How do people interact in this community in a township? Are there any social norms or values that are important to people here?
Oh, yeah, I think in terms of norms, in terms of language, I think language is most important. The certain languages still when they stand out in Kasi. For example, Zulu. I think if we do Zulu, you can fit in. If we do Tswana, you can fit in, right? Yeah, so I think you need to have a certain aspect of language or a way to fit in. Like I said, how is Zulu, how is Tswana, you can dwell or fit in Kasi because I think most of the guys Babua Zulu, most of the guys Babua Tswana. So for you to fit in, you need to understand Obato Bareng, what so yeah, I think those are some of the things that I want to do. Those are some of the norms that you need to understand and of course relate to in terms of you getting engaged with a lot of people, more guys. Because also it is Tswana, it is Zulu. What la bua ka wena? Maybe let's say bua Afrikaans fela, o bua English fela. they would say, how go English, but go bitsa snob. How go Africans, but go bitsa liburu. Irrespective of all colored, but go bitsa go hai wena o liburu. Wa ntlhaloganya. So how is Zulu? Which is Tswana? Because remember, Zulu and Tswana, most of the people perceive as same language. Or what? Zulu is Xhosa, I mean. So Sotho and Tswana, they perceive as the same language. So if you know those languages, obamnat. Yeah. So I think know the languages and then engage. Like Mohlakeng, babua Tswana, babua Zulu. Oya go Soweto, babua Shangane, babua Zulu. Understand? Most of the people go Shawela ke Mashangane. Most of the people go Naledi, go Mapetla, ke Batswana. So you need to know those languages. Yeah. So that's what I believe you need to know in order for you to dwell and interact with people.
Okay, so what do you think is a pull factor for your township? What brings people here?
It's more of acceptance, you know. I think how Yakuka see they accept you for who you are, right? Irrespective of already, you don't need to be someone else. You don't need to look to wear Louis Vuitton. You don't need to wear Gucci in order to fit it. Until I, o kgona go tsena ko location mo twatlile your all star, until I twatlile your DH, and then you fit in. And the ladies there for us men, will accept that as you know who you are. And the financial status of it is that you don't need to spend much in order for you to blend in. Kgona go tsena ko Hulumene le Java o tsena ko Times Cafe o reke your 12 pack o reke 6 pack ya Medi o monate. And then the logistics behind, right? Go na le di-BnB, go kgona go tswa ko le Java o ye Hulumene. Logistics is not expensive. Bolta and then you go there. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I think acceptance, I think financial, it's more appealing to you rather than going to Sentin, because how fit go Sentin also want to prove that if you want to go to another place to meet rent. So you see it's what region to region, because you're going from Sentin, you're going to meet rent. But how local Mohlakeng, there's a lot of pubs, there's a lot of taverns, and if how naturally to go tavern, go jija, because I offer to go Hulumeni. So I think the flexibility, yeah, financial status is important in a sense whereby go fit in. So for myself, status is much more very important. How fit guy go kasi than how fit go.
Do you think these activities or practices are rooted in the community? Does it happen outside of one house?
Facts, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I think for an example, if Rosala Easter, if a lot of families they go to the stadium, right? If Ronald Stockfell, a lot of sure. I think Jagar said to highlight what are activities now. A lot of families participate in those activities. I've had my family come to Mohlakeng Stadium, and let's say if one of stock fellow go JC, the family is part and parcel of that particular stock fair. Then if there's netball, go square, the family would be part and parcel of the activity. So I think in Kasine, there's a concept that it takes each of us to make a difference for all of us, whereby it takes a community to grow a child.
Interesting.
Very much.
Because the title of this podcast, like as a group, as a class, it's Kiti Ngati.
Exactly.
So we choose for us, by us.
Exactly.
Yes.
It takes each of
For
us.
the people, by the people.
Exactly. It takes each of us to make a difference for all of us. Like if each and every person would participate in a certain event, it would make a difference for all of us. If you would pop out 10, then yes.
Kiti Ngati.
Yeah, then it would make a difference for you, because in a certain month you'd benefit such an amount, in a certain month you benefit such an amount. So I think that's a culture. Remember Harry Khola when we grew up that it takes a village to grow a child. You understand? So for us it would be, hey doc, you've got a potential in this. Go be a doctor. And then we'll come up money for you or get some people who would help you in that sphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think these activities exist outside of a township? Are they as strong as they are in a township? Do people value them more than in a township?
Well, look, the activities are there, right? Look, Benny, the activities are there, right? But is the support there? You understand? Let's say if you go to the PEPs, right? The support there is very vague in a sense, but I also support because they need money. They would put a money tag in a certain activity. For an example, now I went to Naturen, right? I used to be a footballer. I used to play football. Yes, can you get that? But because my parents were I was not taken because my parents could not produce an envelope. But you'd find a fat kid or an Indian fat kid at you understand? Because his parents would be able to produce money. So the activities are there. The activities are there, but it's different a perspective for it's just to advertise.
Yeah.
Right. But how do you go in the back is to actually take the keys because they have the pocket. Pocket. Yeah, so it's bad in that sense.
One activity that I'd like to bring up is go tlhaba kgomo. Let's say, for example, in a township, that would be like, oh, okay, ba tlhabiwa, ko gae, okay, whatever. But then in a suburb, be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's the way I meant in terms of activities. Do they differ in terms of you could only do them here? Do you get support here? Do you feel safe here? That's what I meant. So in terms of that, what do you guys think? Is that you as a black person in the township, do you feel accepted? Do you feel safe? Do you feel like this is a place where you can do that? Yes, that's where you feel like who you are.
Like, ask it again. Ask it again.
No. In terms of agriculture, you have a cow.
Outside of agriculture, it's just some certain practices that a black person may engage in. It's not normal to a white person, to a colored person, to an Indian person. So where do you feel safe as someone in a town or in a city to do that? I'm not talking about
Where do I feel safe? In the hood, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't feel safe in a suburb to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You feel supported where?
Okay.
In the hood.
First and foremost, I'd like to emphasize this. Remember, for a person to for myself, I'd say, for an example, Kidula Mokasi, right? I'd like to educate my children for Baskadula Kokasi Badule in the BEPS. So whatever cultural activities that I do, Mokasi, obviously Nkasi is in the BEPS because number one, the society, the community in the BEPS is different from the community in Kasi in a sense whereby the community in the BEPS is more educated or philosophied. They studied. You understand? But Pasi is most of them, if you check them, they are engineers, they're teachers, they're scientists. You need to earn something. So for you to earn, it means you need to be professionally accoladed in a sense or teacher or mama or for the patela pond go town. You understand? So if you afford to pay a town, because it means your philosophy is different in a sense of ba go rutile gore go tlhaba kgomo o tlhabela batho ba ile go batlo e ja because it's a waste of money whereby you could only waste the sandwich and people come to eat if ever there's a death or whatnot. So the mindset of Kasi like with the Pepsi is not the same. For an example, if ngwanake a tlo gola ke tlo mo godisa ka mentality go wa o tlhaba kgomo wa o tlhaba di-cabbage and whatnot instead tšhelete o tlamehile o tlhabe dikgomo ka yone wa o sa reke or go sa patele education for no sekolong. So you understand our mentality.
What
Yes.
perspective is that?
The perspective ke gore in the Bible o ka se tlhabe kgomo re tlo go botse tlhabelang kgomo he ke tlhabela batho ba tla funeraleng ao kgomo ke bokae 9,000. What do you think you could have done ka 9,000 there? So intellectually, psychologically ha re tshwane. People in the Babs, they think different from people who are Kokas. Because they think, yo, but what lo tla mo ga beke tlamile ba ke kgomo ba isla. Ba go the Babs, they think, oh, papa, o tla ba kgomo. Shelter 9,000 is a waste. You understand? Yeah. So psychologically, culturally, we differ, and I don't blame it because most of the things that we get like on a cultural, it's a waste.
That there's such a
And
thing
so,
as Kasi culture. Is there an identity in Kasi that people identify with?
Yes.
Yes. Language. Outside of language, what else? Like I feel like it's more than just language.
Okay, people identify themselves. In Kasi, people identify themselves as lifestyle. You understand how you greet, how you eat a fere. That's a lifestyle. There's a culture. You understand? If you come and then how it is, if you don't see you, set reports. You can't come to Kasi and say good morning. How parama taxi? O tshwanetse go dumelang. Hey, how parama taxi? If you say how parama taxi ne, and then you say good morning, ra go makala. You understand? But how tsena mo teng ga taxi and then ore dumelang re tlo go dumedisa. So that's a lifestyle. You understand how parama go front seat mo taxi, you need to calculate money even though you're not gonna benefit from calculating that particular money. And again, mate, you understand that's a culture. It's a must. Driver go parama go pele o sa calculate wa go kwatela le di passenger themselves ba go kwatela, but it's not a duty to calculate money. So that's a lifestyle. So there's an identity how do la go kasi e leng o tshwanetse o e follow whether or not you like it or not. If you don't like it, ba go bitsa a snob because wena o follower a western lifestyle. You understand? But o snob wena per se. If you speak fluent English, but o snob. If you involve a certain words the English more certain senses tsa gago, but you are a snob. So a lifestyle of course is Venek. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's Venek, it's quarter. How such a quarter such as patlo? How fit in? Malamogodu, Chisanama. Until Hotla go bua ka McDonald, ba go tlhanyetsa ge wena o snob. You understand? So it's different. It's different. It's different. Kukas is certain culture. There's a certain language. Hausa Wale All Star. Dog, you are different. Until yeah. When you clothe, it's different. When you talk, it's different. When you walk, it's different. Otherwise, they're gonna perceive you as an outside source, as an alien. Because majority they're doing a certain, cultural. So how when I come to a concept, they don't understand you. You are like an alien to them. Yeah, but so yeah, it's a different sphere. It's a different sphere. It's different. You need to have a certain culture for you to blend in. Go consider. Otherwise, o tlo tshoga bopogo. E tshwana le ga o ka ko pre ko Joburg. Ga o fitlha wena o katetse hempe thakeng. Ai ba tlo go tshoga pogo. You need to ntshe hempe, tae o e ntshe. Bikinyana o kopolle hempe tse two and move like the other people move. Ba ka se go tshwara pogo. But thakeng polish di tla go di shine. Ai lebala. Tablet ya go ya tsamaya. Yeah, ya tsamaya. Yeah.
Do you think a township can be separated from spaza shops, car washes, chisanyama, taverns, and all? Or is it just part of the experience?
Not exactly the experience, right? It's part of the lifestyle. Like, if I go away, I'm gonna pass it to you. It's part of the lifestyle in a sense whereby my friend ish he's gonna give you. And then how we are in the babes, you can't go to spa and say give at la butterfield, I'm gonna give you tomorrow. So there's a certain culture you can you can live and survive kayo. You understand? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's it's a lifestyle, It's a lifestyle in a sense whereby you adapt to it. Mo e le goreng ga o fitlha ko kasi, you can okapole ko makuleng, ask for bread and say that you're gonna pay kaosane, and then they basically give you. You understand? You can ask for food, and the people who are, some of us we call them vendors, yeah, and then they can give you certain food for you to survive, and you pay them when you have money. But when you go to other environments, for which I would call them suburbs, you find it difficult to go Pick and Pay and ask for credit. You understand? So it's tough. So I think, yeah, in a way you adapt to that. There's a certain lifestyle and then if ever, yeah, you despair, you become miserable because you don't have the financial means to accommodate the fast moving lifestyle. Yeah, a certain country like ourselves, South Africa, that is developing, like inflation rates in Ziagodimo, but your salary stays the same. You understand? So you need to borrow money in order for you to survive and pay back. You understand? You need to go to the bank. You need to go to my friend, Mokasi, for you to survive. So yeah, it's like that. You can't evolve. You can't evolve. You need to you need to adapt. Adaptation is what we use, Kokasi. Adapt or you fail.
So, what challenges have come up in townships?
Challenges is that manipulation takes place in a sense whereby people who are privileged, people who have money, they come to people who are less privileged and they can take advantage of them psychologically in a sense by we find nyaope. Nyaope, it's a drug whereby a person finds comfort. You live in a community whereby you are 15 of you. At a certain point in time, but you need to provide. You understand? It's tough for you. You are slacking psychologically. A friend of yours comes to you and say, have this. It's gonna help you to calm you down. You go, and then you go matikwani asithola ukuthi bathatha nyawo. You understand? So it's tough for qualification. Very tough. Very tough. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need to be psychologically strong. Yeah, you need to be psychologically strong. It will change. The location can change you because people can influence you knowing that you cannot do certain things and they come influence you and then they take advantage of you. You understand? Because you are less privileged, and those who are less privileged are of course the weakened. I I'm very ashamed to say this, but those who are less privileged ke ba leng gore ba weak. Yeah.
They are vulnerable.
Yeah, yes, that's the word. You are very vulnerable because you are less privileged. I'll come to you as a businessman and say, check, man, you're very good in mathematics, but your parents are struggling, and you have a child of Manakolona, your younger sister that needs to go to matric. You don't have the money, but she needs to go there. And then that particular person would give you 50,000, but they say in repayment you need to sell drugs. You do that because you want your sister to be happy. You don't want your sister to go through whatever that you went through. You understand? So it's tough to be underprivileged. So yeah, man, it's tough to live in Kasi because remember the parents Baba Pelangu Kasi, they themselves were less privileged. Otherwise, they would have lived in the peps. You understand? Because everyone wants the best for their children. They know who life kasi and yeah. So you become, instead of your parents becoming the people who are going to take you up, otherwise it turns, then you are the person that needs to take your parents up. So you need to be psychologically prepared. You understand, to do such things. So yeah, I mean, it's tough.
Last question.
Yeah,
What do you want for the future of your township?
For the future of my township, I want the government to be involved because I think the government is for the people, for the people. You understand? So I think if the government would be involved in such a manner that they create recreational centers, you understand? Whereby if let's say you are a singer, you're a presenter, you're a football star, you get an opportunity to showcase your talent. That's what I would like the community to evolve. The schools, man. I mean, if you go to the PEPs, the schools you find go na le swimming pool, go na le rugby court, go na le tennis court. Go kasi, how sad if you are not gifted mo dibukeng, you are doomed. Because ga gona bolo. You might be gifted more swimming, ne? But also gifted more dibukeng, but because ga gona opportunity for swimming, you are doomed. Why dikolo tsa mo ka se di sa ne le swimming pool? Why dikolo tsa mo ka se ne le netball court? Why di sa be tennis court? Why di sa be le polo and rugby and all of that? Not all of us are gifted in terms of literacy, in terms of intellectual reading, trigonometry, and all of that. But you might find that I'm an actual siyakulisi, but I can a platform to present my talent. So get over doomed, and a lot of people will think, okay, dumb. You understand? Because there's no platform where I can show as well. Instead of Ubala the Buga, this is what I can do. But because people are only perceiving education and perceiving Buga as something to show success, get over a person who get home. You understand? Instead of how far rugby ball, how far a tennis ball, how far a football ball, you'd see you the money actually is gifted. So my plea, ke gore a go change, a go tsenye di-activities.
One more question that I didn't put in there. So, do you think that once the government or whoever implements what you want to be implemented, would everything about a township change? Would it no longer be what it is? And are you okay with that?
If the government did what?
So, if the government does what you want for the future,
Yes.
right? Would everything change? Would a township still be what it is? If it isn't what it is, would you be okay with that?
Look, you are what you are because what has been imposed